ago, the mayor of Coleman called rural broadband access the new rural electrification program of the 20th century. And under the Obama administration, we were really moving forward with broadband access, affordable broadband. Now it appears that we're going back with the new FCC. And the United States has some of the worst internet connectivity and most expensive in the world. I heard on NPR this morning, even Rwanda has fiber laying in rural areas, right? As a senator, one of the most important things that you can do for Alabama, in my opinion, is to make broadband more accessible in rural areas for better health care, better schools. Do you agree with that, and how would you go about it?
Yes, I agree with that. It's a fundamental democratic principle to foster these systems and infrastructures. The first thing is we'll vote for it in the Senate if that ever comes to vote, and also write laws and put that to a vote for the people. But then also, I would want to grow the economy where we can foster it and of course, battle with the Republicans to make sure the money that comes to Alabama and is spent properly to harness those things that you want. Yes.
We have 117,187 unemployed people in the state of Alabama. 27% of our workforce is underemployed. I'm putting out a job creation and job preservation bill that's actually going to not only put Alabama back to work, but our whole United States to work. Let me explain this about broadband. I'm a member of the Chamber of Commerce in Lauderdale County, and we determined that the main issue for us in our city and our county, believe it or not, is broadband. You all usually get excited and say, I'm just a preacher. When I get on the campaign trail and I start yelling and screaming and jumping on chairs, they all say, well, he ought to do that. He's a pastor, he's a bishop. But I get passionate about these things, and that is putting people to work. What do? We actually need to make sure that we have a jobs plan that we can use, that can put broadband in place, that will, like the electricity, obviously create grids where more people can work and more people can thrive. This is in my jobs plan already. Let me close saying, as a bishop, I've traveled the world. I've been in Rwanda. Yes, I have, many times. Many parts of Africa, okay? And believe it or not, they are further advanced in some areas than we are. So I lastly say I support even the Bill and Melinda Gates initiative that has allowed them to push for free internet access across the whole globe.
So I have to pick up on the sound like a Republican comment that was mentioned before. So I was in an NBCnews.com article, and they actually interviewed Vivian Beckerly, who's the head of the Mobile County Democratic Party. And there was a quote from her that said, the theory is that I was some sort of Republican plant that was thrown into the thing in order to hijack the election. So let's think about this strategically. You're going to pick an African-American young man from Pritchard, Alabama, put him into the race with no money and no endorsements as a plant. I'm telling you, the establishment is scared to death of this candidacy. They're scared because I'm actually connecting with voters. And when I go on a conservative radio talk show like I did this morning, and the guy is saying, why in the world would you even show up here? Because I am running a general election campaign from day one. Doug talks about all of this commitment that he's done with the Democratic Party over the last 30 years. How's that worked out for you? When have we won statewide? If we do the same thing we've always done, we're going to get the same result. We are going to lose. We are here to win the general election. My name is Robert Kennedy Jr., and I'm running for United States Senate.
So the question was about broadband, right? I think this is a no-brainer. If we really want to transform our society and look back at 2016, it was really about an urban-rural divide, a cultural shift that's happening in our country. And if we really want to tackle that, we have got to show that we care about people who live outside of just big cities. And we can do that by investing in their communities, things like broadband, things like healthcare centers. We have got to do that, not just because we want their votes, but because it's the right thing to do. And so I fully support initiatives to bring broadband to the entire country, especially rural areas where people are struggling and out of jobs and looking for better pay. I think it's vitally important that we do that.
Thank you. I look at this more as investment in high tech. We need to attract high tech jobs into the state of Alabama. But to attract high tech jobs into the state, you need to invest in education. Alabama is the only state in the union that refuses to invest in public education. And what do? They build 3-4 state-of-the-art prisons, waiting for our children to make a mistake so they can lock them up and throw away the kids. That is wrong. So we need to attract high-tech jobs. Number 2, high-tech jobs pay 4 times more than low-tech jobs. So if we want to increase the standard of living, we need to attract high-tech jobs into the state. Last but not least, we also have to make sure that we take care of our children. Most schools in Alabama, about 85% of the schools in Alabama have a zero tolerance policy, which means a 14-year-old, a 16-year-old makes a mistake, he gets tossed out of school. We have a United States president who screws up 501 times, and he's still being given chances. Is that fair? That is not fair. So we need to review it. Thank you.
Let me tell you, I've actually worked on broadband in Coleman County a few years ago when President Obama tried to expand that, and it is incredibly important. It is so important that we get broadband everywhere. There was a company right here in Huntsville that was trying to put broadband over power lines, and I went to the Coleman Co-op there, the electric co-op, to try to get, and we were working all over the country. And I started working with the Department of Agriculture. Unfortunately, the big telecom companies got hold of it, and they just squashed the little companies. That's where we've got to stop. We've got to start getting innovative business leaders across the state looking at broadband, get it into schools without cost. Everywhere in this state, everywhere in this country. It's an issue that I know a little bit about, worked on. I wish it had worked out, but you can't always fight those telecoms. But if you elect me, I promise you I will. Thank you.
We all having fun? So this is a question of economic fairness. It's a question of equality. Because, and this is a concept that escapes me as to why so many folks think that somebody has to lose in order for you to win. And that's not necessarily the case. I think we all do better when we work together. And when we have an infrastructure program that levels the playing field and allows broadband access to poorer communities or rural communities, we give those communities a chance to grow their businesses, to improve their small business opportunities. So I think we need to focus on that in our infrastructure plan, not just roads and bridges, those are important, but also the technology of tomorrow. How are we going to advance that so that we give everybody an equal playing field?